Now I want your calls on whether the XL bully ban is sort of pointless. Is it strict enough? 0207 862 2222 is the number to give us a ring. It has been illegal to breed, sell, exchange or rehome an XL bully in England and Wales since the start of the year. Now from tomorrow, really from 12 o'clock tonight I suppose, it will be illegal to even own one unless it is registered as exempt, which means the owners can keep the dog for its lifetime. Now around 30,000 owners have already applied for an exemption to the ban, meaning that thousands of XL bullies will still be on the streets, albeit I suppose they have to be muzzled in on leads. Critics say that this is a sign the ban hasn't worked, but others think that it shows owners are being responsible. So we want to know, what do you think? We'd love your thoughts. Carole, as the only other dog owner on the panel, I'm going to start with you. How do you feel about the XL bully ban? Do you think it's the right approach?
You know, I don't, as a dog owner and as a dog lover, I don't want to see any healthy animal euthanised for any reason. However, you know, of the 10 fatal dog attacks in 2022, 6 of them were committed by XL bully dogs. The year before, of the I think there was 4 attacks, 2 of them were XL bullies. You know,
but hold on, that means 40% weren't.
Yes,
and they were done by...
Maybe because the opportunity hadn't presented itself. You know, people have got to remember, these dogs, they weigh 10 stones. If they decide they're going to... If they're not muzzled, if they decide they're going for you, no owner, no man can stop them. I was listening to an interview with a guy on the radio recently, and he said he bought 2 of them as pups, and he did loads of research. He went to the proper training, whatever. He said when they got to be a year old and they were their weight, their full weight, he said he realised he could not control them if they wanted to run or attack. He said his wife was no longer in a position to be able to take them out because she was half his size and couldn't control them. So I just worry that you know, if these dogs decide to turn, they're killing machines. There's nothing anyone can do about it. And I know a lot of people who have, and what worries me is this ban. They're saying that, you know, these exemptions, I should say. Who's going to police these exemptions? Are we going to have people walking around parks looking to see which XL bullies are muzzled, which ones are on a lead? It's not going to happen. You know, you can register. I think you pay 95 quid to register your dog, which is a responsible thing to do.
It's also not cheap.
It's not cheap, but it's a responsible thing to do. However, you know, I just think that no one's going to police this. So once you've paid your 90-odd quid, you can keep your dog. And you don't have to follow the rules because no one's going to...
Would you have had them all put down?
I just don't think... I think I wouldn't have the ones put down that currently exist. However, I would stop the breeding of them.
But that's what the government's
doing. They've already
doing.
stopped it.
Yes,
in England and Wales.
But what a lot of owners were doing in this country was they were putting them into Scotland, who until about 2 or 3 weeks ago had not enforced the ban. So a lot of the dogs were
not going to.
They are.
Oh no, they are going to enforce it in Scotland.
They've now decided.
Northern Ireland
said it last
not,
changed.
but Scotland, yes, they are. As of the 18th of January or something.
He blamed us. Basically, he said he wasn't going to because they had a responsible dogs policy, but because the English were taking the dogs over there and having them rehomed, he blamed us.
But if you're not going to have them all put down and you want them muzzled, that's what's happening in England and Wales, and it's now going to be in Scotland.
Storm just made a very good point in the break. She said, you know, when you muzzle a dog, it tends to make them more aggressive when you get home and take it off. So if that XL bully dog is going to a home where there are small children and it is made more aggressive, that is a terrifying thought.
Yeah,
but that's also an argument to say don't muzzle them at all.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's not, because these dogs can turn. You know, if our little dogs bit your leg, it's not a problem. You need a tetanus jab. If an XL bully bites your leg, you've lost it and probably your life in the process. And that's the problem. Why do people need dogs this big?
I go a lot of running. When you run past someone with a dog, you always give them an extra bit of space. But I've noticed XL bullies are being muzzled. I ran past 3 muzzled XL bullies.
How does that make you feel? Even though it's muzzled, it's on a lead?
A lot safer. It makes me feel a lot safer. But I also then see that the owners here are complying with the law. They are behaving responsibly. Because if we didn't allow them to keep them and muzzle them, you would have had to have them all put down. So you'd have had 30,000 or so dogs put down. Now, I wouldn't... Yeah, I do, actually.
Policing.
I do, because... Look, we had to do something about XL bullies. The clue is in the name, extra large bully. What are you buying? What is that dog capable of? And I get owners will try and be responsible, but dogs can turn. And when they turn, a smaller dog you can deal with, it can still nip you and bite you. But an extra large bully, 10 stones of fighting muscle, you haven't got a chance.
OK, we're going to speak to one of those responsible bully owners now. This is Sophie Coulthard. Thank you for joining me. What do you think about this ban? Do you think it is strict enough? Do you think it's not strict? You're with your bully dog. This is Billy, isn't it? 1.5 years old.
I've got Billy here. Yeah, he's a bit sleepy, so I don't know if he'll last through the interview. I think the title actually is wrong, because I think the fact that over 30,000 people, and I'm sure that number will jump up by the end of today, that have registered their dogs shows that there are over 30,000 of either American bullies or dogs that fit the description of an American bully, and those people have felt like they've had no other choice than to exempt their dog. And I think what that shows is that the vast majority of these dogs have a good temperament, they're family pets, they're safe around children and family, etc.
How can you say that, Sophie, how can you say that? Of the 10 fatal dog attacks in 2022, 6 were committed by XL bullies. How can you say they're safe? They're
and
not.
as Scott said, and if we're going to take those statistics, we have other breeds in the mix as well, because there are other breeds that are just as powerful, bigger, in fact. And, you know, this reference to 10 stone, I don't think there's that many XL bullies that are coming in at that weight. I don't know about what it would be in stone, but Billy weighs 30 kilos. He's smaller than a lot of Labradors that we see when we're out on walks.
Well, there's an organisation called Bully Watch, and they take huge interest in these dogs, and they're the ones who are putting out the average weights and the attacks and all the rest of it. But, you know, I'm looking at you on the screen. I can see you're very slight. I don't know which camera I'm looking at. Which one? I don't know. Where am I looking? I think. I can see you're very slight. If your dog decided to turn, I'm not saying it will, but if it did decide to turn, you wouldn't be able to control it.
I absolutely would, because I have been to a professional trainer. I knew what the responsibility of taking on a larger dog was. I grew up with boxers, I've grown up with large bull breeds, and I knew that if I was going to get a big dog for myself, that I would need to be able to have control of that dog. So going to see a professional trainer was something that I was committed to investing in, and it's what a lot of people do. You can go on social media and you can find many other people like me, women like me, who are putting in the effort to train their dogs.
Sophie.
And right now, I walk into the park with my dog on a muzzle, on a lead, and I look around the park and I think, is my dog the most dangerous dog in this park? Or actually, is my dog one of the best trained dogs in this park?
Sophie, can I ask a quick question? How is Billy? I mean, he's a young dog, so he should be quite good at dealing with new things. How has he been with the muzzle and the lead?
Yeah, well, I spend a lot of time training him anyway, so I knew that we had to take the muzzle as another training opportunity, if that's the right word. So he has adapted really well. He's not bothered by it. We live in London, and so every time we leave our apartment, he needs to be muzzled immediately. And he is doing fine. I think that it's me that perhaps struggles with the perception that people may have. Although I will say that I have had overwhelmingly lovely comments from the public who do not agree with the ban. And I think if you take any person with a dog and ask them, have you had an altercation with another breed? You'll hear a whole raft of different breeds, because what is obvious is that there are circumstances around these attacks, and when it comes to responsible dog,
you talk about a perception of these dogs. The perception is the reality. The reason there is this perception of them, the reason there is a law now against them being a muzzle, is because of the attacks. Not every attack ends in death, but a lot of them end in very serious injury. It's not a perception, it's a reality.
Well, what I think is that one thing that rarely gets discussed is, why is it that this particular breed has now become the breed that's being banned?
Because
and when
it's
you
attacked
look at
people, they've attacked people.
Hold on, let Sophie finish her comment.
When you look at the pandemic, which saw people looking for other ways to make money, and that coinciding with a huge rise in popularity of this type of dog, then people see an opportunity. They see an opportunity to breed dogs and make a lot of money, and that results in bad breeding and bad ownership, because people take on a dog without thinking of the responsibility that comes with it. And so I just think
you would target, rather than targeting the dogs, you would target the breeders and potentially the owners as well, for maybe not taking the responsibility needed for a breed such as that. Sophie, please stay with us. We're going to take a couple of calls now. Susan from Lancashire, how do you feel about the bully ban? Are you in agreement with it, not in agreement with it? Does it go far enough?
I think they've made the same mistake with this as they did with the Dangerous Dog Act many years ago.
Well, it's part of the same thing. What's that then?
Pardon?
It's part of the same thing. I mean, this is just another dog that's been
Yes.
added into that act.
Yes, and thousands of dogs were destroyed at that time unnecessarily. It comes down to ownership and breeding. There's too many people can breed a dog without any comeback whatsoever. Now, we had a St. Bernard, big dog.
Yeah.
When he was a pup, I met up with somebody accidentally who had a St. Bernard, the most aggressive dog I had ever met. And I asked him what had happened. And he said every time he walked past somebody, he'd pull the dog towards him, which made it overprotective to the owner. And I thought, oh, my God, I was brought up with Staffordshires. So we made sure we went to a training where he was socialised.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's the problem.
Susan, all of these things are incredibly important, and if you are a responsible dog owner, you know about the socialisation, you know about dog training, but still we hear stories about XL bullies, and we've had this conversation many times before, and I have had calls from parents with XL bullies who have said that, you know, we had a perfectly lovely dog, there was nothing wrong with her, she was, you know, gorgeous, and then she just turned one day, and it's that switch that I think concerns a lot of people, because although Sophie's Billy looks like an absolute dream there, just a total peach, those stories start to make you think, oh, well, you know, what if Billy decided to turn now? That's terrifying.
Listen to the RSPCA, what they have to say about it.
And what do they say?
Well, they're not in favour of this. They're in favour of whatever. I mean, they've been on the television often enough talking about this, and they're talking about the breeding, the ownership, the responsibilities, and also what happened in COVID, where everybody went and bought, well, many people bought a dog as if it was a toy.
Susan, I can see the case for muzzling owners, or muzzling some owners rather than their dogs, but do you accept that some breeds are more threatening and violent and dangerous than others?
Well, I was brought up with Staffordshires, and when the Dangerous Dog Act came in, they were panicking, people who had Staffordshire Bull Terriers. That's what we had in our family, Staffordshire Bull Terriers.
Yep.
But we were responsible owners. Now we've gone off the Staffordshires and we've gone on to another.
But Susan,
breed
would
of
you
dog.
accept as well that you might be in total control of your dog, but what happens if that dog goes into a run with kids that don't understand how your dog has been trained, what your dog likes, what it doesn't like, and it goes for them? That's the problem. I think, you know, your dog can be totally responsible with you. It knows you and it knows its boundaries with you. However, if you have this click in you and it walks into a room and the kids do something, playing with it, smack it, whatever, and they attack the child, you have no control over that.
I wouldn't allow that to happen in the first place.
There you go. I mean, that is the responsible
How would you
owner.
stop it?
Well, don't take it in the room with the children. Susan, thank you very much for your call. Juliet from London, what's your thoughts on the bully ban?
Hi, hello. Just some thoughts, agreeing with some of the same thoughts on your previous callers, but also I don't have a dog myself, but my friend has not an XL, but she has a cane corso, and she has said she doesn't agree with this ban that's being brought in now, although obviously we understand why it's come about and what have you, but she says all they're going to do, these people, irresponsible people, the breeders, they're just going to switch to the next breed, you know, that they can use to breed.
I see what you're saying, Juliet. There's always been a percentage of the population that want to use a dog as a weapon, as a status symbol, and they will pick a breed that has more aggressive tendencies, that is a bigger breed, it has more of a dominant stature and looks more foreboding. And every time we ban one of these breeds, a new one, and that's what happened with the XL bully, a new one pops up and then we ban that. So it's a kind of cyclical affair. And what are we going to do? Just keep continuing on with this process, Kevin?
Yes. I mean, that's how the law works. It's criminals but change how they operate. and the police have to adapt, and it's the same with dogs. If
But
people
why
are gonna...
should somebody like Sophie suffer? Why should a responsible dog owner with a lovely dog like Billy suffer?
Hang on.
She's
But Sophie said your bully Billy has adapted well. If that's the case and it's adapted well, it's muzzled and goes out, but other people are safer and won't get attacked by another bully, what's the problem? What is the problem if your bully Billy's adapted?
But that's fine. But what about his welfare in the long term? What about the changes that we've had to make to our lifestyle to accommodate for this ban? When my dog's never growled at another dog, we were actually attacked last week. A dog bit me, and he did not react, did not growl, did not bark. Whilst this dog bit my leg, aiming for my dog, I obviously had to step in and advocate for him. But this is the thing. We have to look at a better approach here. Other countries have done it. They have taken an education and a licensing approach. We need to be licensing breeders. We need to be licensing owners. And we need to be thinking of the future, not just which dogs should we ban this year. We should be looking at how we can...
Sophie, that's
have a
not
better
fair.
society.
It's not about which dog we should ban this year. The reason they're banning XL bullies is because of the attacks. And, you say that other dogs bite. Yes, they do. But the point we made earlier was if a spaniel bites your leg, you're not going to have your leg off. But if an XL bully, we just saw a photo of you with your lovely dog there. His jaw is massive. If that locks onto somebody, you're going to be in trouble. That's the problem.
Okay,
I don't believe that I don't believe that he is any more likely to do that than another dog.
But if he did,
them switching any dog can be aggressive.
Yes.
And there are other breeds that are more powerful, that have more powerful bites than XL bullies, and they are the breeds that people are moving on to now. So we're going to be having
that have more powerful bites than yours.
Well, no. The XL bullies have been involved in a disproportionate number of the
dog
fatalities.
attacks and deaths.
That's the problem.
What are the circumstances? Who were their owners? Were these dogs being adequately exercised? Were they kept inside all the time? Why do we keep going after the dog?
Because they can kill, Sophie, that's why.
Okay, I just want to get into another caller. Anthony from Northumberland. Anthony, what's your thoughts on XL bullies in general, actually? Do you feel a bit sorry for them? Because they have been targeted and pinpointed.
100%. I mean, just the last statement there, I mean, a car, if you hit someone, you're going to kill them, but we're not going to get rid of cars, are they? But my point is, I worked as a porter in a hospital for a few years, 10 years back, and the amount of attacks the dogs on people that come across when you take them from one ward to another, 99% of them were from small dogs, from Alsatians all the way down to Jack Russells, Yorkshire Terriers. This woman has like blinkers on that she cannot see what damage smaller dogs can do. You just put them, because these are powerful dogs, but they are beautiful natured, they are caring, and a lot of people buy their child a dog when they get to a certain age because they want one, and they go through their lives with that dog, and then all of a sudden you want to rip it away from them.
Well,
you
Anthony, that's not. Just to be really clear, not to scare people, that's not what's happening. Some people think that is what should happen, that all XL bullies should be terminated. Is that the right word? That is absolutely not what's happening.
I think that's my point. It's like they want to do that, and it's like it shouldn't be, because they are part of the family. It's the owners. It's like a statement. It's a statement.
That's not what's happening.
You can keep your XL bully for the rest of its life. You have to have it muzzled when you take it out, and you can't breed it. That's
part of this exemption.
I think it's where the government's got it right on this. I think.
I do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The dog should be muzzled, and the dog needs to have full control. But a lot of people are using the dogs for statements. They're walking around. It's like, I'm a hard man.
Well, see, this is part of the problem, Anthony, that these individuals are using now XL bullies, and how do you resolve that problem? And maybe it is licensing, but at the moment we've got this ban. Anthony, thank you very much for your call. Steve from Kent, what's your thoughts? You're an XL bully owner?
Yes, I certainly am, and I do agree that things did need to be done, but the point that we're getting here is we've heard nothing about these people that own these dogs, that done these attacks. Where are these people? Why aren't these people locked up?
Well, some of them are.
Where are they? Yeah,
some of them have had prison sentences.
There's not enough of them that are locked up, right? They should have brought out a licence scheme like they did years ago. You should have had a test to prove that you could actually handle
I do like that thought,
Yeah,
Steve. For all dog ownership, whatever dog you want to get, a sort of strength test.
Have an actual, well, I don't know about a strength test, but an actual test, because it's not only strength, it's around your mental as well, whether, you know, you can handle one of these dogs. But, you know, when you're talking about small dogs, if you're in a family, a Jack Russell will kill a child, right? Small dogs do so much damage.
I mean, Steve,
Now,
potentially it could, but it
doesn't happen.
Jack Russells, right?
Steve, a Jack Russell could kill a child, but I've not read about one of those ever.
You haven't,
not ever.
You haven't read about things because it's not been...
Oh,
No,
it
Kev,
is.
hold on. Carole, the facts remain, Steve, out of 10, this was in 2022, out of 10 fatal attacks, 6 of them were bully dogs. Not Jack Russells, not Labradors. That's 60%.
Yes, I totally agree with you. But what about all of the other dogs, the little dogs that have not been reported? Right, because if someone gets a bite, I'm not going to report that, and they walk away. If they started
But they walked away.
Every single dog bite, you will find.
Yeah, Steve. That nobody's denying. Steve, you need to pause. Nobody is denying that. We're talking about fatal attacks here. We're talking about attacks where somebody has died. The reason you don't report it is because you're able to walk away from that. And if you're able to walk away from that, it has not been fatal.
What about a drunk driver? You don't bang cars.
Well, this is the different
argument.
Okay, I need to get to a break.
We
Steve, we're not going to get to the end of this.
You can't hide.
Steve, thank you very much for your call. Thank you so much, Sophie and Billy, for joining us. I know Billy's desperate to go for a wee nap there. Thanks for joining us for that discussion and all your calls. We're going to have to move on after the break. Should school uniform...